Good afternoon, everybody. It is Monday, September 18th, 2 p.m. Eastern. We had a bullish start to the week for crypto, but we've got a pretty big pullback going on right now, and that is on the back of the headline. The U.S. seeks a court order to initiate an inspection into Binance US. And you can see once that headline hit, we got a big time drop and big time volume behind that drop on the 5-minute time frame. Short-term RSI getting pretty extended, and essentially it was an hourly bull flag trying to shape up. It failed, and we rolled over on high volume. Zooming out to the 4-hour chart, we pretty much gave back maybe 75% of today's move, and we're still technically in a 4-hour uptrend, but we've got a lot of space now for lower highs to be the result of bounces from here. So keeping that in mind, bigger picture, are we in a daily uptrend for Bitcoin? And some people are going to say yes, and some people are going to say no. For me personally, I say no. And the reason is we bounced last week. The weekend volume disappears as usual. And we just traded sideways. There's no significant pivot there. If I'm going to call something an uptrend, I want a very clear higher low and higher high. I want a point in time where there's a tug of war going on, and the bears start to win the tug of war, and then the bulls pull it back and say, that's as far as we're going up from here. And some of the altcoins had that, but Bitcoin did not. And so if you look at, Bitcoin's pullback on the daily here was 0.2% when the stair steps broke. And if you compare that to, say, Litecoin's retracement was 2.75%, almost 3%. That's a more clear pivot. We pulled back almost 3% under the low of the previous day and then saw continuation. I would call Litecoin a daily uptrend, and I would call Bitcoin not a daily uptrend. For me, it's all the same bounce, and we have not confirmed a clear higher low and higher high. And so that's just, again, a little bit of a nuance depending on who you're going to be talking to, but just wanted to share that's where I stand. As far as back burners. So a lot of people overuse back burners. And you have to keep in mind back burners have the highest probability of success in strong trending markets because you use it as a counter trend signal on the shorter term time frames to indicate a longer term higher, lower high, a longer term pivot that is with the trend. So when we're in monthly, weekly, daily uptrends, back burners are on the table to buy short-term oversold conditions for long-term higher lows. What we have right now, we don't have a trending market, at least in Bitcoin. Altcoins, there's a bunch of altcoins that are in clear trends, monthly, weekly, daily downtrends, but Bitcoin is not. Bitcoin has no clear trend. We are sideways on Bitcoin. Granted, it's a solid range, but we are sideways for the last month. I would not be using back burners on Bitcoin in either direction until we have significant follow through in one direction or the other. There are there are altcoins that are having reverse back burners as something to be keeping an eye on. Let's just pull up a random one and see how it goes here. So who's been most bearish? Mana, we know Mana and Sand. Let's see, who's been in a solid downtrend? Atom. Anyways, I'm just keeping an eye out for 4-hour. Look at, there we go, Sand. 4-hour RSI hits overbought for the first time in 2 months. And that marks the top. So again, it's not, can't use it just on its own, but we can use it in conjunction with other things. We could say, all right, 4-hour RSI hitting overbought for the first time in 2 months. At that point in time, all right, the hourly RSI getting a bit overbought as well, zooming in even further, and it then ended up being just a clear 15-minute downtrend. Big enough pullback, lower high, lower low. So that was just a nice example. 4-hour first overbought conditions marked the bounce high on the way up for Sand. Mana got a little bit further into 4-hour overbought, but again, you get the idea. You need strong trending markets. And we could say Sand has been in a strong trending downtrend on all time frames for quite some time. That headline did come from the Chart Guys chat room. Steve posted it. It's an ongoing, let me use his direct words, active court meeting going on right now, so updates will flow soon. Someone went pretty large short on Bitcoin as funding dipped. So Steve giving us the heads up, but apparently it is an ongoing court order. No, ongoing court meeting. But clearly we can see something, it's reacting to something. So that headline certainly fits the bill. So again, where we stand from Bitcoin from here, we're going to scout an hourly lower high to be the result of the next bounce. I need to see multiple days of consolidation, a pivot, and then a bull break if I'm going to say we are now in a clear daily uptrend. We have to keep in mind, we're also keeping an eye out for a potential weekly head and shoulders. The FOMC is Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's going to impact the dollar and Bitcoin fairly significantly. So keep an eye on that. But in the meantime, pretty much for me, as long as Bitcoin is not over, 29,000, then a weekly head and shoulders is going to remain a possibility. But first things first, can bulls confirm a daily uptrend? That is the question that we have for the rest of the week, along with what's going to be the Bitcoin reaction to the FOMC on Wednesday. Bears at this point are going to be scouting either hourly or 4-hour lower highs, hoping this is our temporary top into daily consolidation. ETH. So ETH, again, a more convincing daily pivot, a pullback of almost 2% into that consolidation. And then we did break resistance. 1669 is a double top. So we broke the resistance from last week, but we did not break the resistance from that bounce high back in early September. So right now ETH has a double top at 1669, but ETH remains a bear because ETH BTC continues to be extremely weak. ETH BTC just tested the lows of this entire pullback over the last 52 weeks. We almost hit 52-week lows. So we can see here there's now a base. Essentially, we've got a base of support with a triple bottom and a quadruple top of resistance. And the bulls are going to try and bounce off this low here and see, ETH gain a little bit of strength compared to Bitcoin. But in this moment, it is still certainly weaker than Bitcoin. Need to see ETH BTC confirm a daily uptrend if we're going to say, all right, ETH is gaining against Bitcoin. But until that happens, it's clearly been weaker for the last month. Other than that, in the last live stream, we were watching Link because Link had a really nice tightening daily equilibrium. And it got significant follow through considering the weakness in the crypto sector overall. Bulls are certainly not complaining at all with the amount of follow through that they saw here. The bull break triggered at 642. We followed through over 647 and we followed through. We got over 5% plus from there. So if you're looking at where the bull signal happened on that bull break, and granted, it's definitely not easy to buy bull breaks in this current crypto market environment, but the tighter the range, the more believable a break will have follow through. And so for Link, we got the bull break, ended up with a quick 6%. Nope. From the bull break, we ended up with a quick 3, almost 4%, and then another leg up there. But now we're watching for a potential hourly head and shoulders. So depending on how much we pull back here, if we can't break the high, and if we confirm an hourly downtrend, that will then have us looking at a potential top. So what this headline does, or what this Bitcoin reaction does, is has the bears a little bit more aggressive now. Because the bulls showed up to start the week, the new weekly candle, and now we have a here we go again kind of mindset on this current drop. 15-minute bounce trying to get going on Bitcoin. So it looks like some temporary stabilization. The crypto stock started today really strong, but faded. Look at MARA. Gap up open, and then we hit a new many-month low. MARA has been the weakest crypto stock we're looking at because they had dilution news, and ever since then, it has been falling apart comparatively. Riot is holding on much better, but it saw profit taking as well today. Coins in a tightening daily range. So crypto stocks not doing much, but the one piece of information that we get from crypto stocks, MARA is a lead bear, and the bears are jumping all over it at any opportunity that they have, as long as that relative weakness continues. Other than that, so Link, keeping an eye out for the hourly head and shoulders. I had been keeping an eye on OP because of the daily double bottom, but Bull's failing to confirm the daily bull flag right now on OP. So you need to be determining two things. Well, what direction do you want to be looking right now? Aggressive bulls are looking for Bitcoin clear daily consolidation, and they're looking to enter on a higher low. Bears are looking for hourly or 4-hour lower highs in the short term. So with where we currently stand, is the risk and reward better for longs or for shorts? For me, it's better for shorts, just because of the lack of Bitcoin daily uptrend confirming at this point. But I would want this fear to subside a little bit and get that hourly bounce. And again, I'd be scouting the hourly lower highs. Let's look at some of the weaker coins. So ADA. So yeah, there's space for bears to try for those hourly lower highs. And we then have to confirm the hourly downtrends if the bears are going to follow through it all. Who else? XRP. Holding on pretty well. XLM is going to be looking for a daily lower high on this bounce. XLM is a weekly bear flag trying to shape up. And if we can confirm a daily downtrend as a result of the next bounce, that weekly bear flag will likely confirm. So it was nice to wake up on the week and see that the bulls were out, but it is fading a bit. As far as the bigger picture on a bunch of these altcoins, let's not forget that we are in weekly downtrends on a ton of individual names. And so the result of this bounce, look at Atom. Atom, anything under 1029 is a weekly lower high, which means we can bounce 30% and still be in a weekly downtrend. So again, determine what time frame is most important for you, and then we go from there. I'm looking for weekly lower highs, then I'm patiently watching this daily bounce, and I'm looking for a point where I can say, that's either the weekly lower high that is set and use that as my stop, but with where we currently stand, I personally would want to see a little bit more bounce follow through. I'd like to see Atom get to weekly EMA 12 just like last time. I'd like to see Litecoin get to weekly EMA 12. That's where I'm most comfortable if I have, again, a confluence of signals. Weekly EMA 12 resistance. Maybe some of the shorter term RSI levels are getting overbought, whether it's the 4-hour or the 12-hour. Maybe we have a daily rising wedge shaping up, or a daily head and shoulders, or something along those lines. That's what I would want to see if I'm scouting a longer term weekly lower high. So we'll keep checking in on Bitcoin here to see what this bounce looks like. We are still in a 4-hour uptrend trying to hold EMA 12, but again, clearly taking the wind out of the sail of the bulls, who were looking really good up until an hour ago. And again, to reiterate, backburners are not on the table. Certainly no long backburners. If we confirm a weekly and a daily uptrend and there's FOMO, think about the psychology of what's needed for a backburner bounce. You need to have people on the sidelines with cash who missed a move itching to get in. And those are the people that are buying the oversold conditions, which help those bounces follow through. And so if we're not in a scenario on the chart where we imagine there's a bunch of longs itching to get in, then we're not going to see significant bounces. Other than that, there's one more coin I wanted to highlight. So Sol, again, we still have this Sol unlock that we're keeping an eye on. Same thing, there's a lot of space for a weekly lower high. 4-hour RSI got right up to overbought, and that's where our top is set. Just lost the hourly uptrend with a confirmed, this was a little 15-minute head and shoulders. And so from here, a Sol bear Now needs to see an hourly downtrend confirmed to follow through. And you can see the alts didn't get hit as hard as Bitcoin on this drop. If we go to the dominance chart, it's going to show us, let's see, it'll show us a big drop, the last hourly candle. So Bitcoin flushed, and a lot of those alts did not drop nearly as hard. So it's less convincing. You know, I look at Link, and I'm less convinced that a top is set on this move. But if this hourly head and shoulders shapes up, then it's a lot more convincing. So pretty much everything across the board is going to need to confirm hourly downtrends from here. All right. BTC does not look that bullish right now. Correct, I would agree. What are you all looking at? I'm reading the chat room now. RNDR has some nice daily uptrend follow through. Again, it just stands out because we've been in a daily uptrend for a couple of weeks. It has a couple of green weeks in a row. Most coins don't have that. So it has had a little bit of relative strength recently, but now it's looking like a rising wedge. Why is it looking like a rising wedge? Because we just broke resistance with no follow through. Whenever you break resistance with no follow through, keep an eye out for a potential rising wedge. So key support is 153 on RNDR. If that were to break, it would be the first indication of a weekly lower high as we are back testing weekly EMA resistance. Thanks for the headline, Ryan. So Binance US auditor found it very difficult to ensure the company was fully collateralized at specific points in time, the SEC says in unsealed court filings. So that essentially says the auditor found it difficult to ensure that the company, I mean, it's essentially, I would assume, in periods of high volatility, difficult to confirm that Binance US is safe from collapse. I guess it's not the correct way to put it, but essentially there's doubt. There's a small amount of doubt in Binance US, which is what is leading to the sell-off on the hourly time frame. TON USDT. Definitely one of the stronger coins, bouncing over the last month plus. Getting a little toppy. We just double topped. If we drop down and break 225, that will be letting us know a temporary top is set. And at this point, you know, could this be a cup and handle? It's not a picture perfect example, but we do have a double top and a potential bull flag. Again, so much is going to depend on the next 6 hours here and what the hourly bounces do. Because if we confirm an hourly downtrend on TON, then that increases probabilities that the daily double top is going to mark a temporary top. So keep an eye on the hourly from this reaction. Because the burden is on bears, because we started the week so strong, burden's on bears to confirm the hourly downtrends. Overall, if we do double top and pull back, we will be looking for a daily higher low with lots of space for it to form. Watching our retracement size. Again, definitely one of the stronger coins out there. Ooh, I like that monthly chart. Look at that monthly tightening range. It's all about 290 big picture. If we fail 290 and set a lower high, we're going to be looking for something like this to shape up into next year. So losing the daily uptrend would be the first baby step towards the potential of a monthly lower high shaping up. So bulls aren't worried about it right now, but they're keeping an eye on a really nice looking long-term equilibrium and keeping an eye on the daily uptrend. Do I think there's enough volatility in the crypto space right now to trade it or just be watching? And I would say focusing on a certain number of coins. And as I mentioned in the last live stream, HIFI was like a light in the dark, and moths were attracted to the flame. Traders go to where there's volume and opportunity and volatility, and obviously it's now sold off in a huge way, so you've got to use those stop losses. But this was a great trader in both directions. There's tons of volatility and volume here on this individual name. So we could say, you know, from crypto as a whole, is there significant opportunity? No, not compared to, you know, the last few years. But individual names, individual little pockets, there is still opportunity. This is the kind of market environment where, again, what I'm doing is focusing on stocks and other opportunities, whether it's the cannabis sector, the uranium sector, whatever, while I wait for volatility and clarity to return to crypto. And so that's why I keep telling so many crypto traders, you know, open yourself up to stocks as well, so you can go around to different markets when different market environments shift. So it is still possible in crypto to be trading, but it is, again, just not the same opportunities that we've seen in the prior couple of years. You know, you look at Link on the monthly chart. So what's the opportunity like the last year plus, last year and 3 months versus the prior 3 years? It doesn't compare. And that's the case for a ton of crypto right now. So again, we're not going to generalize and say everything, but again, XLM, compare this opportunity in both directions versus this opportunity. Night and day difference. So I prefer to stop trading things when they're tightening up on long-term time frames, and then trade them again when they break and that volume and volatility returns. Thanks, Dewey. Same to you. Glad it's helpful. Can I explain the psychology of an outside bar? So oftentimes outside bars are megaphones, because we know megaphones are you break resistance with no follow through, you break support with no follow through. And so that is one of the ways that an outside bar will form. Another way that it will form, depending on where it forms, if it's on stocks, it'll often form on a gap up open and then a big sell-off of profit taking that engulfs the previous day's trading range. And that's a bearish engulfing candle. So essentially, usually it's megaphones. And again, you know, whether I can't say whether I'm just recognizing more megaphones the last couple of years or whether there are more, because I have started to pay attention to them more in the last couple of years, and I was not paying attention to them, you know, 5 years ago. But just psychologically speaking, as I've mentioned, you know, if I'm an automated trading system trying to stop out as many people as possible, you know, the more people that learn TA, 2021 euphoria in markets had the most people interested in trading in the history of the world. It's never been higher. You had people at home because of CVID. You had accessibility, internet accessibility. You know, anybody can open a brokerage account and throw on $2,000 onto there. It was the peak at this point in humanity, the peak of human interest in trading. And so if everybody is interested at a peak and is trading off support and resistance and trying to learn some technical analysis, well, how can I stop out as many people as possible? Let's just break all these levels and not follow through on any of them. And that's a potential reason why we're seeing more megaphones. Again, that's just speculation. I don't have any data to back that up. But it wouldn't surprise me if that were a reason why there's more megaphones the last 2 years versus the prior few years. Some wild volumes on the new L1 Pulse chain. I don't know if it's actual significant dollar volume. Maybe it is. I haven't looked. Yeah, 2021. Everybody talking about Robinhood and their portfolios. Absolutely. NVDA. I was going for this short right before the stream. It finally rolled over. All right, so again, just to reiterate one more time, watch these hourly bounce attempts and watch for lower highs, watch the retracement size, and if bears confirm hourly downtrends, they're going to regain the short-term control that they lost when this week started. FOMC Wednesday is going to have a significant reaction, and what I want to see on the Bitcoin chart, whether you're on the daily or the 2-day or the 3-day time frame, a trend. Bitcoin has not had a 2-day uptrend since 31.8. Can the bulls confirm a 2-day uptrend for the first time in 2 months? That's the question into next week. Bitcoin had a 15-minute stair step and gave it all back. Is it because we didn't establish support on the way up? That's part of it. Again, it's bear volume reacting to headlines, but it is definitely a factor. The harder you run up without building supports, the easier it is to fall back down through them. And so we can say the news, triggered the drop down and the volume magnified it, but it was a lack of support on the way up in that range. JOY. Yeah, anything that's only listed on a couple exchanges, it's going to have junk volume, but walk those stop losses up. We saw what HIFI did once it topped out. Gave back a ton very quickly. Hourly stair step on Joy. That can be a short-term guide for taking some profit. And again, just one more time, for those tuning in a bit late, the headline is the U.S. seeks court order to initiate inspection into Binance U.S. And there's an ongoing court hearing right now as some SEC documents are being unsealed. All right. I'm going to wrap it up. Appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget to do good things. Again, just be picky in this market environment. There's still opportunity. There's still some volatile coins. You just want to ensure that you're trading crypto stock or trading crypto right now much less than you were trading crypto 2 years ago if you were trading crypto back then. Our trading activity needs to match market environments. When there's a lot of volume and volatility, we can be doing a lot of trading. And when that shrinks, we want to be doing a lot less trading. All right. Appreciate you all. See you soon.